When you hit the record button, then it says record.
Okay, the record.
In the United States Marine Corps in 1991 after graduating from South Range High School. He graduated from the Aircraft Rescue Firefighting School at Naval Air Station in Memphis, Tennessee. Wayne was stationed at the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center in 29 Palms, California, and was assigned to the Aviation Ground Support Element as an aircraft firefighter and EMT. His duties included firefighting, aircrew search and rescue, and emergency medical care. Wayne was honorably discharged from the Marine Corps as a Lance Corporal in 1996. He graduated from Kent State University in 2002 with an Associate of Applied Science degree in occupational therapy. Today is a nationally certified occupational therapy assistant and a certified field worker educator. Wayne is an adjunct instructor of occupational therapy at Kent State University. He is currently working in long-term care, specializing in adult psychiatric disorders and dementia care. Wayne is a lifelong resident of Green Township and currently resides in Greenford with his wife Shauna and their daughter Ellie and son Jack. Please welcome one of our own, Wayne Wilt.
I would like to thank Major Mark Stepik and the Greenford Ruritan for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today. It is a tremendous honor to stand here with you, among fellow Americans who share my respect for the men and women who offer themselves up in defense of this nation. Today, out of all days, I hope that the American people can put aside their own personal strife and take time to remember those who are too often out of sight, out of mind. Our brave military members who have put service before self. Many of the people who let Memorial Day pass without a second thought may very well owe their existence to the courageous sacrifices of a sailor, soldier, Coast Guardsman, airman, or Marine on some foreign soil in some bygone era. President John F. Kennedy said, "A nation reveals itself not only by the men it produces, but also by the men it honors, the men it remembers." Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day and was started to honor the soldiers for the Union and Confederate armies who died during the American Civil War. Celebrations honoring Civil War heroes started in 1866, the year after the American Civil War ended. The establishment of a public holiday was meant to unify the celebrations as a national day of remembrance, instead of a holiday celebrated separately by the Union and Confederate States. By the late 19th century, the holiday became known as Memorial Day and was extended to include the deceased veterans of all wars fought by American forces. By 1971, Memorial Day became a federal holiday. I have attended this parade most of my life. I've had many different roles, from marching with the Boy Scouts of Troop 116 to playing taps with the South Range Raider Marching Band, to traffic control as a member of the Green Township Volunteer Fire Department. I always thought I understood the meaning of this day, but until I served in the United States Marine Corps and started taking care of those who served and were injured in war during an internship at the VA hospital, I became more aware of how very important this day needs to be for all of us. I now have a better understanding of why grown men and women hug each other and share tears at their military reunions when memories are revisited. This is an uncertain world, and no matter how safe we feel Our freedom is a highly valued and targeted commodity. Never forget, never let our children forget how fortunate we are to have a voluntary force of men and women willing to safeguard our freedom so we can rest soundly at night. Americans, as we know, can be forgetful of the sacrifices made by our military members, veterans, and their families. Beyond the citations for valor are the untold, undocumented stories of men and women who live with the scars of war. We need to recognize that a life can be sacrificed long after the final shot of a conflict is over. Many American sons and daughters are returning with amputations, disfigurements, physical illnesses due to environmental exposures, traumatic brain injuries, and post-traumatic stress disorder, among other injuries. Many of them would not have survived their wounds in previous wars, but advances in medicine have enabled them to return home. It is nearly impossible for these veterans and their families to forget the sacrifices they made. So why should we allow our own memories to lapse? They did, after all, stand up for every one of us here today. There's a saying within veterans groups that states, "The best way to honor the dead is to serve those who lived but came home sick and wounded." Those who made it home often carry heavy burdens upon their shoulders. They often know they must fight on in honor of their fallen comrades, living life to the fullest in spite of severe, disabling injuries or illness. While we are saddened by these losses, there is no doubt that Americans share a proud heritage of duty and honor forged in the heat of terrible battle. From the soldiers who shivered and starved through the winter of Valley Forge, to the doughboys crouched in the muddy trenches of France, to the platoon who patrolled the hazy jungles of Vietnam, and the young men and women patrolling the mountains of Afghanistan. We remember and honor them all. Freedom has a price this Memorial Day weekend. While we gather to enjoy barbecues, families, and our precious liberty, please take time to honor those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom and those still fighting on the front lines around the world. In closing, I would like to share something special that is very special to a United States Marine. The term Semper Fidelis. Semper Fidelis was adopted as the official motto of the Marine Corps in 1883. Translated from Latin, means always faithful. Marines use the abbreviated version Semper Fi to voice loyalty and commitment to their fellow Marines. To all the Marines here today, Semper Fi, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.